I feel like we've had really good reasoning and arguments for a lot of these things, but this one I'm struggling with to find an argument as to why LNG or top or T1 are better than one another. Um, I don't want to just like skip it and just leave them. I mean, they're in the same tier, right? I mean, you can use so many arguments. You can say T1 like historically is better. Like historically, T1 clears LNG. Individually, LNG has players that can outclass T1. Jungle support wise, I think they're both like kind of even, and their macros are both like. I think while T1's macro is probably slightly worse. Peak T1 is better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. LNG's playoffs was just so fucking dog shit. Like if LNG just beat Weibo and then lost to Tess, it would be pretty easy. But LNG's just looked so fucking cheeks in playoffs. So who would you put above it? I think I'm gonna keep it the way it was and put T1 here. Because LNG had a really good regular season. They did. Like LNG's regular season was great. They bombed the playoffs and then 3-0'd into from regionals. But T1 just the collapse of T1 is insane to me. You know, there was even parts of T1's regular season where it was even questionable whether they're even going to make playoffs in the first place. Weren't they like 5th or 6th for a bit when FearX was on like this miracle run? There was like, I think week 7 or 6, there was parts where FearX was maybe going to come and overtake. And LNG's never really been in that spot where things are that dire. The problem with T1, it's never the normal way, it's always the T1 way. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep it the way it was before. I agree, T1 are frauds. Yo, what up, Dom? Dom, LNG versus T1. If you had that matchup right now, who would win? Take away your T1 bias, be honest. I think LNG. You think T1? Why? Give me one reason why. Wait, can I call you on Discord? So you think T1 would beat LNG?
Yeah, so my like personal take, because I did a tier list. The way I did my tier list, I broke it up into like 2 parts. There's like one that's just like pure like analytical side, and then the other one is the like me just being like full bias, like what I think will happen.
That's a good idea. That's what I should do.
So I think that no team outside of BLG, Gen.G, Hanwha Life would actually win a best of 5 at Worlds against T1. Like I feel like T1, because of who they are and the fact that they've like been there before, the confidence that they have on stage, just the way they play, I don't think that the other teams are good enough that they will actually win a best of 5 against T1. Like I can't see it. If I were to take, you know, TL, who I think has decent parts of them, and I put them against T1 in a best of 5, isn't T1 just going to clutch it out? Aren't they going to just game 4, game 5, just fucking clutch it out?
So you're using like history as like the main, like historically this roster, right?
It's like historically this roster, but it's also just when T1 plays like big matches, it feels like T1 only gets beat in big matches, like in playoffs and just internationally. They only get beat by teams that are a level up on them, like that are significantly better than them. It never feels like they lose to a team outside of, I guess, that DRX series where it was like a team that is worse or even to them actually can beat them in a best of 5.
So you're saying DK was a better team?
Bro, do you think I'm that blessed? Do you actually think I'm that blessed that T1's gonna lose in quarterfinals? You think I'm gonna get lucky like that? Of course not.
What
bro.
changed? What changed? Do you have so you actually think T1 would probably, if you would rank teams right now, you would say because BLG, Gen.G, Hanwha Life would be the only teams to do it, you would say that they're probably the 4th best team in the tournament?
Yes. Like that's what I would think, but there's no like good reasoning, you know. It's just the bullshit reasoning and intuition and feeling and all that stuff.
So
that's
if you
why
had to
I did
say
2 different tier lists.
Okay, so if you had to say objectively skill wise,
I think that like where you have them is fine. Like I would have. Is this like I wasn't here for how you did this. Is this like 1 to 14 like ranking, or is this like just different like?
It's
tiers?
more like
what does runners up mean?
It's more like categories, right? I mean, it's ended up in a position where I'm kind of like ranking them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 as well, but they're like kind of in tiers they're labeled in. Like dark horses in their own ways. Like I actually think Weibo could make a degenerate ass fucking run to semis, but I don't think they're like egregiously good. And similarly, PSG, it's not the same, but I do think PSG could make a random top 8 run. It's like there's context behind those two, for example, right? And like top 8, I don't know. I just came with the debate in my head. It's like G2 and Tess on these either sides was good in my head, but T1 LNG just for some reason I kind of got stuck on the idea of who would win if they put up against each other. Like I was leaning towards T1 because I think my argument analytically was that I think T1's side lanes are stronger, and their jungle support is probably better on a good day. But that's the only real argument that I had.